All right guys, so today we are back working on the Sierra again. We need to finish that 2.4 drop kit. Of course the sun has to come out now. So a lot of you guys told me on the last video that I could just use an engine hoist, just kind of make an X with some straps in the bed and then hoist it up that way and then lift it off. Now the problem is I only have a 1-ton engine hoist, so it doesn't have the reach like a 2-ton. I'm not too worried about the capacity. I think it'll do it, but there's only one way to find out. And this is everything I picked up to take care of our rot problem. So I got a new Crossmember that goes over the gas tank. This is the front Crossmember, like right behind the cab that holds the evap canister. And then I got some surface shield with a spray gun. So I'm gonna just spray the frame and everything with that. Oh God, that is awful. There's like no reach on that. I mean, it looks like I'm gonna lose the bumper and the hitch. And that'll probably give me, what, like an extra foot or so? What are the chances this spare tire actually comes down? Oh, that doesn't sound good. I'm dying, but I got it. If anybody wants a closer look, this is the problem with these stupid things. This is just a safety hook, or like a safety catch, I guess, in case the cable fails, the tire doesn't fall out. And this is spring loaded, so when the tire's up, it sits like that. But the problem is it gets so gummed up with rust, when you lower the tire, it doesn't release and it just stays in that position. So you want to come up here with a screwdriver and just kind of push this over, and that'll let the tire come down. And once it's down, you can kind of get in here, lube this up, clean it, do what you need to do. It should go back to working as normal. You can crank your tire back up after. That sucker is brand new. Still got the little fuzzies on it. Oh, it's my counterweight now. Trust me, I'm doing you guys a favor by not putting you under here. Don't want you to get rust in your eyes now. All right. Oh, what a bitch. I know we're all thinking, oh, that'll be a perfect time to try to fix that dent, huh? I'm not here for you. I'm not here for you. All right, so I just went and I put it on some shorty jack stands. So now I could pull the wheels. So I won't have to go as high with the bed, because now instead of trying to clear the 20-inch wheel, all we gotta do is clear that drum. It's so hot. My plan is to pretty much get this bed off, wheel it in the garage, and then I'm gonna back the ass end of the truck in the garage on the other side with the bed off, and at least, you know, I'll be in the shade and have a little bit of air conditioning. Ugh. Yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a lot better. We only gotta go up that much. Here's my plan. Harbor Freight straps. Did I mention how hot it is today?
It's too tight.
It's hot. Oh, the bed's even hotter. All right, got them both. Let me tension it back down. These suckers are stretching, huh? We have some lift off. Oh, that is sketchy, sketch. Oh, here comes the water. Yeah, that's extra weight you get out. Oh, you're doing this with the Camaro like 3 feet over there is probably not the best idea. Oh. All right, that worked a little bit too well. Dude, that worked friggin' perfectly. I was even able to move the tire around to kind of get the balance point in the right spot. But yeah, this is what we're after. We gotta change that. We gotta change that. Oh, the shock mount back here is looking a little worse for wear. I didn't see that. The frame's good though. The frame is beyond solid, which is nice to see, but we want to get all that crap pressure washed out of there, all that sand and shit. So let's get the bed dropped down on some dollies and we'll get it inside because that's going to need some work too underneath. Yeah, this is my plan. One of those in each corner, or maybe I could just kind of wheel it around, get it in the garage. Although I'm tempted to see how far I could push it on the hoist. Oh no. Counterweight, come back. All right. Kind of get it straight with the garage and just lower it down. Straight as I can with the garage. Nice, new dent unlocked. All right, it clears the dollies, but it clears the hoist. This is gonna roll. Oh, you're too good to me. Yes. Get inside. The really screwed up part is I wanted to get this in here so I could somehow flip it on its side, sand it up, and treat the underside. Like there are some rails that are kind of rotted. I want to either cut and repair or just clean and treat. So yeah, that's what we did. We hit the toolbox. Yeah. Aside from that, that'll all buff out and I can touch that up. You live and learn. The dollies actually work pretty good. It's exactly where I wanted it. All right guys, this is the next day. I think I'm gonna start working on the bed. It's even hotter than yesterday out. I actually got both window units pumping in this place because that's what it takes to get this garage down to like a habitable 68 degrees, at least for me. So I'm just gonna be keeping cool, working on this friggin' thing. And I think the first order of business is gonna be trying to get this upright on its side because we got a few bolts we need to extract, and then I want to possibly fix some of the rust. If not, just kind of grind it down and coat it with something, call it a day. Well, that's gonna have to do. Unfortunately, I don't think, I don't have any moving blankets here. Now the real question is, we're in a nice spot right now. What's gonna happen when I let it go a little further past that nice spot? Can I get around it? The hell was that? All right, so here we are. I did hear some concerning crunches and creaks coming from down there. Could that whole bedside be smashed in now or have a bunch of dents? Possibly. I'm gonna pretend it doesn't. It's probably all right. It's probably just rust and crap kind of just crinkling around. But now we can get to these bolts. Look at this. So much easier than doing it on the truck. We got one there that was broken already, one up here that was broken already. And like I said in the last video, the rest of them just came out without a problem. We do have some rot that is showing that I didn't see before. Like this is where the spare tire was. You see that's rotted out. There's a tiny bit poking through here. But all this I'm just gonna descale. I'll probably treat it with something. The holes, like I might throw a piece of angle iron right here, being this is where the bed mounts, or one of the bed mounts are. I'm not going crazy with this though, because it's all pretty much there. It just looks a little crusty. Also up here, which I knew about when we did the look over on this truck, I'm not touching this either. This is gonna be something that I can easily access when the bed's back on the truck. Just pull the flare and I could get in there. They make replacement panels for that. I don't feel like dealing with it right now. But let's start trying to take those bolts out. It is many days later, and I haven't really done anything. It's probably like a week and a half later. So this is where we're at. Yeah, I was cutting this crap out, which turned out to be worse than I thought. And my plan was initially to come in here, and I was gonna bend some metal, just with a very cheap Harbor Freight metal brake, to kind of recreate, you know, the little flange here. And just kind of weld here, reflange it, weld it back down. And then I realized I really don't want to do that, especially since this is like 16 gauge steel. That bender cannot bend that. That's as far as I got. And I don't want to go with anything thinner. And this is all disgusting anyway. Trying to like reflange this and then re-weld this down to here, it's just going to blow through. And I have no intention of cutting all these spots out and like patching the actual underside of the bed. So this is what I came up with. I went down to the metal yard. I picked up 16 feet of 2x2 steel tubing. It's like overkill thick. But what that's gonna allow me to do is just kind of slip it underneath the existing rail. And I could kind of graft it in and weld it all the way around here, weld it down here. And being this is 2x2 and the existing bracing that comes out to here, that's about a 2x3. Being this is shorter that way, I can actually weld it in here because it's gonna end about here, and that'll allow me not to like blow through. Because this I'm not gonna bother fixing. There's no point to cut this out and like go crazy with it because it's not blown through yet. It will be if I try to weld on it. So I'm just gonna coat this with Por 15, kind of encapsulate it, it'll be fine. But the plan now is to get back to kind of just cutting all of these out. I'm leaving the portions where the threads are for the bed, because these are still pretty solid. And we're just gonna graft all that in. And yeah, if you was gonna be a few seconds, for me it's gonna be torture, because I hate doing this kind of stuff. All right, check it out. That came out exactly how I wanted. Got it kind of slotted into the existing frame rail there, or box section, whatever you want to call it. Got it tack welded. Probably overkill to do every single one, but I think the factory had it that way. So I went and did that. This part was a little bit of a pain in the ass because I had this piece that was rotted out that I cut out, but I managed to keep that as one section and get that welded in. The rest of this should be smooth sailing because this is just going to get cut out. We're going to put a full from the bolt hole to the bolt hole. So it's just, you know, cutting straight across, ripping them out. No weird cuts like that. So yeah, let's get it done. We are finally there. Check it out. All of the channels, the frame pieces are welded in. I ground down some of the welds, although, you know, most of them came out really nice. So I just kind of ground some of the boogers off. But this thing is ready to treat and top coat. So my plan is to hit all the kind of crusty areas, like the kind of pitted heavy stuff. That's still solid, just kind of really crusty on the outside, with some Pour 15. So all this crap. This stuff's great for applying directly over rust. And then for the actual inside of the frame pieces, I'm gonna spray this stuff. It has a long straw, so it just kind of coats the inside of that. Even though this is gonna like totally outlive the rest of the truck. This is like seriously thick stuff compared to the factory. And there we go, it's finally friggin' done. Came out pretty good. I mean, a coat of bed liner goes a long way at hiding your crimes, I'll tell you that. Also, there's a rust hole up here. I went digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, and then, yeah, sure enough, right through here. So before we put this on, I'm just gonna hit this with some fiberglass, we'll sand it, and just hit it with some white spray paint. It's in a spot you don't see. That side's fine, but yeah, between that and I got to get the stupid heat shield back on. I got to figure out where it mounts because all those holes are gone now for the muffler. Other than that, I mean, this thing looks friggin' phenomenal. And yeah, one and done. Don't have to worry about that crap rusting out again. But let's get out to the back of the truck while it's still cool out. And we got to start cutting those cross members out. So here's what we're after. This front piece comes with a new mount for the charcoal canister too. That's riveted in right there, and then this is going to be the fun one because this all has to be cut out for the, you know, the brace that goes above the gas tank. gross. All right, so this is what we're dealing with. I got the new brace side by side with the old stuff. Still got to pull the exhaust hanger off, but pretty much this is just gonna kind of slide in like that. It's got that plate welded to it. It's gonna get welded around here. I don't know if all this has to come out. Like, we gotta cut a huge square of that out where it passes through, or just the circle. We'll find out in a second. But then it has these 3 other plates. So one's gonna go on the inside here. The other 2, one goes on each side on the outside. So even when we're done cutting this, if it's a jagged, messy, like gaping mess, that's gonna go over there with the new one, and then we just weld that all the way around. So I think I'm gonna start by marking the frame here. Just kind of center with that pipe so I could get it right back in the same spot. See, rough fit. Now, hot dog down the hallway, like you'd expect. Yeah, I gotta cut more of that away. I gotta cut this plate down. Oh, that was easy. That came right off. Beautiful, it's perfect. Look at that bootyful fit. Look at that. Nice and flat. Weld that all the way around to the existing stuff. Now, lastly, before we get to welding, I do want to address this disgusting ass frame. You can see this side, which wasn't visible when the gas tank was in here. It's very crusty. And it's not rotted through, like the bottom's solid, but it's all rust jacked where they put these stupid like reinforcements in. It's like rusting in between that and the frame. This side's like friggin' fine. But that side, I'm gonna get the descaler. I wanna kinda chip a lot of that crap away. And before this is welded in, kinda like in these spots here that are hard to access, I wanna just pour 15 in here. And it's a few days later. I just finished kind of digging any rust out of the intersection of frame there where the gas tank's gonna sit. So I got as much of that out as I could. Ideally, I'd love to cut that out and like clean that all up and put a new one in. I wasn't able to find replacements, so this is gonna have to do. It's all just saturated in pour 15 all the way through there. So once that's dry, at least I could get the brace in, get the gas tank in, and then we'll finish cleaning up the rest of this. But right now, let's go hop back onto that drop kit. So we got the shackles we're gonna install first. Then we gotta cut these puppies off on each side, get rid of the rivets. The new stuff will bolt in, and that's just gonna mount the leaf spring higher up, and that's what's gonna give us our drop in the back. Oh yeah, that's gonna get cut off. Well, cutting would be fine if I had 75 years, but I don't. Yes! I can't believe that came out. I know this one's cut. This is just a placeholder. I have a new bolt on the way. It's partially cut, at least. Let's leave those slightly loose until everything's all in. I can turn everything down together. Alright, so the welding is just about done. The only thing I have to do is finish the spare tire support. I got this thing off of eBay. It was like 50 bucks. It's not exactly the right part. It's not folded over at the top, but I think it'll work. I'm just gonna cut, kind of tack it, weld it in there, and we should be good to go. Something I ended up doing on the driver's side, so you see where the old shackle, or I keep calling it a shackle, the old spring hanger used to come down to here. The other side, I ended up cutting that piece off, and I welded in some of this 2x2 I had left over from the bed. This wasn't rotted through, but as you guys saw, it was pretty crusty on the inside here. So just to give it some extra support, I figured why not. Got that welded in there. I got the shock mount welded on, and gas is almost completely gone. This was a new bottle when I started this. So hopefully we have just enough to get that spare tire support welded in. And then it's gonna be U-bolt time. I got the U-bolts, so we can pop them out and finally finish the drop. I just barely made it on gas, man. Woo! I gotta get a fresh one because, you know, I still gotta take care of that Barracuda that's absolutely rusted into oblivion. But as far as this truck goes, we're there. Welding's done. I got some flap disking to do, not too much, but I'm gonna clean it up a bit. Pour 15, all of like the welds, kind of really get it to seep into all that stuff. The spare tire support, I still need to find a spot to mount this. I'm probably just gonna pull this off, maybe just self-tap it back into here. This thing I think is supposed to be just like an overlay because it's not an actual like C channel like the original one. And you can see this is all just completely rotted out. So I think you're supposed to just kind of slap this over top of it. But I kind of made it work. It's just supposed to hold the spare tire anyway. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. All right, so I got the shackles torqued down. I got the shocks bolted in. Unfortunately, these drop downs that I got for the shocks, they don't fit because this rear end, I don't know why, they're supposed to be for a 1500. It has like this shoulder on it. So the holes don't line up, and yeah, I could weld it on there and like cut it up. It's just gonna look crappy. So I'm just gonna order shorter shocks. Dude, who says 4 inches isn't a lot? This thing, it seems so much lower, and I still gotta get the bed on it. I'm definitely probably gonna have to crank these bars, torsion bars, gonna have to come down a little bit. Once the bed's on, I'll kind of see where it's sitting. I also have new tires that are going on, so these kind of off-road things are gonna be gone. I got a 275. I think it's a 40/20 or a 45/20. All right, a bit of an intermission here. I know I was supposed to be coating the frame. I really don't feel like doing that. The gas tank's back in. Let's start it up. This battery is beyond dead, by the way. That's all still there. We have power. Yes, we do. Should probably prime the pump. It's running. I don't know how much gas is left in that tank. I think most of it evaporated over the past like 2 months almost. I really gotta fix that exhaust leak. Yeah, we have like no gas. That's about right. It's working? Is it going up? I can't see anything. Alright, that's about 6 gallons. What have we got? Yes! Lights off. Got a quarter of a tank. Alright. It worked before, but you know, you never know with these aftermarket parts. If I would have put the bed back on, I guarantee that gauge wouldn't have worked. Well, I still don't feel like painting the frame yet, so let's make it louder. God damn, that is a big son of a bitch. Nice little rumble to it. SLP loudmouth that used to be on this car, and we have a Flowmaster 10 speed, 10 series that used to be on this car and my Trans Am. Bassy. I feel like it's going to drone a lot. Holy crap, this is a game changer. I actually lowered it enough. I mean, minus the stupid little antenna, we can work around that. I lowered it enough to that space. Not a lot of space, but once the bed's on, I might actually be able to get this thing in the garage on the left side. Alright, that's all done. Looks pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Next I want to do, I need to top coat the frame just with some frame paint. Kind of get the gloss down and just further protect this poor 15. But right now I want to pull these brackets off because you can see we're really close to hitting the axle. And apparently the 2x4, yeah, 2x4, I guess 4x2 technically. The two-wheel drive trucks, they don't have those. And you can see there's a hole right in there. So I'm going to pull this bracket off. We're going to put the bump stop directly into there, and that's going to give us a good couple more inches before we actually bottom out onto the frame. The 415 needs a touch up, but look at that. That is way better than what we got going on over there. So we'll pull that one out too. And then I have some nice new shocks we're going to be putting in because those suckers are way too long. So for shocks, I went and picked these guys up from Veltec. They're specifically made for a 2.4 up to I think a 4.6 drop. Ideally, this car will, it's kind of a car now. This truck will get coilovers at one point, at least in the front. So last thing before the bed goes on, I want to hit the frame with some of this stuff. It's just satin black chassis paint. It'll kind of tone down the super high gloss of the 415, make it look a little more factory. Alright, so the frame's completely coated. We got the shocks in. I got the gas tank completely hooked up. I also went and put the evap canister back in. I was missing that bracket underneath because it was all rotted out. So I just mounted it right into here. I modified a washer to hold it down, and that'll be just fine. Got the taillight wires ran back to the rear, and all we need to do is a couple of things to that bed before we could drop it on. I don't even know where I got this stuff from. It may have been up in the attic. All the resin is like separated out of it. But that's not looking too bad. We'll just let that kind of dry. Give it a little scuff. I don't have I don't think I have body filler. I might actually have a little body filler. I might care enough to put a little body filler on it. I don't know, we'll see. And then for this here, I'm just gonna pump it with some seam sealer because that's what was there from the factory, just kind of right under this. That has a little pore 15 between it. That should stop the rot there. We gotta get that thing. If I have silver paint, maybe we'll paint it, throw it on, and then this bed's good to go. I do a little of that, a little seam seal, a little white spray paint, good enough. It was finally time to mount the bed on. The heat shield is painted, got to screw that in, just gonna use some self-tappers. But before that, one last thing I want to do to this is hit it with some surface shield. It's like an extra layer of you know, rust protection. So I gave up on using the cans. This stuff seems to work really good, just the cans suck. They always clog up and you end up losing like half a can. So I picked up a cheap, just a spray gun for this stuff, like undercoating gun. We'll give it a quick hit with that. Might even hit the frame a little bit if it doesn't make a huge mess outside in the driveway. And then we can load this thing on. I shouldn't really need much of this stuff, right? Look what I'm doing. Does shit not snowball when I'm trying to get something as simple as just replacing a fuel pump done? I'm not going crazy with this though because it's all pretty much there. It just looks a little crusty. I have this fancy gun and I'm spraying like all right, I think that's it. We are like totally rust proofed on this friggin' thing. Pore 15, top coated, and then just regular kind of fluid filmed. Pore 15, rust prevented on top. I also hit that, so don't worry about that rotting out again. I think I'm gonna clean this up. Best time to do it. And then let's drop the bed. I'm gonna link this down below. This is the way to do it though. Get the gun, it was cheap. I think it was like 30-40 bucks. And look how much of this stuff I have left. I did the whole bottom of the bed and the back frame and didn't even get to half a bucket. Yeah, that's the way to go with this stuff. Screw getting the cans. Probably shouldn't have coated it with a bunch of oil before doing this, but what can you do? Oh, that's not good. Oh no. It's all the legs. Oh, that's just dust. How the hell did is that undercoating? Oh, god damn it. Well, the truck is partially black on this side. We'll have to just deal with that later. More importantly, I didn't dent the crap out of this side, which is what I was worried about, having it leaned over like that. So that's a good thing. Let's get it on the dollies and get it back on. Ooh, that came out real nice. Look at that. That paint matched pretty good. This is the side that was all rusty and disgusting. Pretty nice. This is annoying me. You think brake fluid? Oh, yeah, brake fluid will do all right. Brake cleaner will kind of take that off. Is it causing too much of an issue? It doesn't do anything. Maybe I could just do the entire bed that way. Now in the heat of the moment, I've got to turn the camera on, but this is where we're at. I think that's high enough. I mean, all we gotta do is just kind of back that in, hopefully clear the freaking hoist, and I think we'll be there. And I'll give it a few more pumps. Well, let me put you guys on a tripod, because this stupid hook slipped. Alright. This out of here. Yeah, it's all gooey underneath. Seems like the worst time to do this. A monsoon's coming in. This thing is just teetering. You guys are gonna fall over. Alright, it's now or never. So yeah, to kind of get the enough reach, that's got to go under there, and that's kind of a problem now because it's going to be hooked on that. I can't exactly pull the hoist out. It's almost like I got to just kind of pull the straps and let it just kind of fall onto the frame. We're pretty close. Threw all that PB blaster on there. It slides around beautifully. Look at that. Ooh, it looks like it's sitting pretty nice too. We are on the road with the lowered Sierra. Finally. Oh man, I waited so long for this day. Honestly, feels great. The exhaust sounds terrible. It's nothing but drone. It's like once the bed went on, it just amplified all of the drone. It sounds horrible. It feels great when you get on it and you're like flooring it. Still traffic. But yeah, that's gonna get changed out at some point. Alignment's horrible, we gotta take care of that. But as far as like the ride quality, like it's comfortable. Like I could totally just drive this every day. It's not like slammed and disgusting and bottoming out on everything. Ooh, some pops on D-cell. Definitely handles better. It's still a truck with friggin' leaf springs. You know, we can't work miracles unless we do like a full coilover conversion. But I gotta say, I'm really happy with it. Drives nice. Still use it as a truck. I didn't put the tow hitch back on. Couldn't put the spare tire back on because without the tow hitch, you can see the tire and it looks really stupid. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just keep the hitch off. It's actually in really nice shape, and the one on my Tahoe's all like rusted. It looks like it's about to fall off. So I'm probably just gonna swap them out. And yeah, the Tahoe's gonna be my tow vehicle now anyway. All right, let's hop outside, take a look. Holy crap, look at how good this thing looks. It's like the perfect height. It's exactly what I was going for. I'm trying to build this truck to be pretty much like a Silverado SS, kind of a Sierra SS if there was a thing. So I think this is like the perfect height, something you would see from a factory truck. You're not going to be scraping, rubbing everywhere. And keeping these 20-inch wheels, I was a little skeptical at first. I wasn't crazy about the style when I put the thinner tires on, but now that it's all done, I don't know, I think these wheels might have to stay. I was thinking of going to maybe snowflakes, but I'm really liking the 5 spokes. I got my tape measure right here, so for anybody who's wondering, we're at just about 30.5 at the front. And a hair under 31 at the rear. So we got about a 1/2 inch of rake, which is perfect. The front could probably come down a tiny bit more, but the problem is the torsion keys, they basically have 1 thread before they bottom out on the Crossmember or on the lock key. So I have to get different torsion keys before I could do that. It's also pretty like squashed down on those bump stops in the front. So coilovers are definitely in this thing's future. In the front, not going crazy getting release springs or anything, just to be able to bring it down a little bit. Unfortunately, the coilovers that I had on my Tahoe, even though I'm going to be going with the same company, being that was a leveling kit, they're totally different, they're not going to work. So I sold those. I'm gonna have to get a new set for this thing. Oh, look at that, it's perfect. Just the longer wheelbase of the extended cab, it's exactly how I pictured it. Damn, those wheels really look perfect. Oh yeah, one little thing that I did that just sealed it into perfection. I had those 1.5" Bora wheel spacers left over. Let me get see them in there. That I had on the Tahoe when I had the Trail Boss wheels. And what do you know, being this is a Z28, oh yeah, a Z28. It is a Z71, it has those fender flares. That 1.5" brought the wheels like perfect. Right to the edge of that flare. Like, it's absolutely perfect. It still needs an alignment bad. We're gonna tackle that in the next video, but everything just really tied together and freaking looks incredible. The Z71 badge is decal. It's hilarious. That's gonna come off at some point. Also, I can't get this crap off. I thought it was undercoating, like rubberized undercoating. I hit it with kerosene brake cleaner. It doesn't come off. It's actually the Eastwood, basically pour 15 in a can. I guess when I shot it through the ends of the tubing, I went past here and it, whoosh. I might have to wet sand it, I don't know. I washed the truck, I clay barred it, it does not want to come off. The biggest pain with doing this is the fact that it's a Z71. I had no idea there was so many differences between a Z71, or not even a Z71, just a 4x4 and a 2x4. So 2-wheel drive, 2x2, 4x2, 2x4, 2-wheel drive. I didn't realize there were so many differences. Like, I know the 2-wheel drives have coil springs in the front. I didn't know about the lift blocks in the back, the extensions for the bump stops, so that stuff had to go. And I think if this thing did have coils, it'll probably be much lower in the front. Even with those 2-inch drop spindles and the torsion bars cranked down, they're basically max cranked down right now. It's still like nowhere near slammed, which I'm fine with because luckily this is the exact height I was looking to go with. And those spacers, I'm so glad I held on to them. I had them for sale on Marketplace for years for like 200 bucks, and people kept lowballing me, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, and I just held on to them. And they're like $350 spacers. I'm glad I held on to them because look at that, just finished the truck off perfectly.